Hi there, I'm Kira Woods and I'm delighted that you can be with me again today. So this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for the week of October the 13th through the 19th. I'm just giving the cards a little bit of a shuffle and I'm going to pull 3 cards just to have a bit of a look to see what sort of energy you might expect coming out of this week. Okay, first card that is jumping out to me is the King of Cups. Alright, and next we're going to get, okay, we now have got the Two of Wands, and let's see here, make sure that's all in view for you. Alright, okay, so for those of you who maybe haven't looked at my videos before, this card represents the first part of your week, so your Monday, Tuesday. Perhaps you're sort of going into Wednesday, Thursday, and then the end of the week, sort of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But really it's a combination of all three. The energy of all three are coming together to sort of give you overall the sort of energy or situations that you might find relevant to you. Okay, so the King of Cups. So what can we say about this King of Cups? Well, you know, he represents Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, so if you are into astrology, you'll immediately have some sense of knowing through that. And when I look at the King of Cups, the first thing that jumps at me, of course, is that supreme nurturing. So I think, okay, this is going to be a week when nurturing sensitivity, showing empathy, experiencing empathy, intuition, sort of emotionally being in tune. I find this card represents sort of myself or somebody else or a situation where I feel real kindness, someone being a good listener. In the kind of work I do, this is a really great card to pull. So it's around that sense of being in tune with care and empathy and being a good listener. So if you're working with a counsellor or if you are a counsellor, this card will resonate with you. But even so, you might just find in your everyday living that you've got a sense that you can really listen to others, really be there for them, really show that sort of warmth and care. You know, love giving, this card represents love giving, hugs and sense of affection. Putting a smile on somebody else's face, however you like to do that or how others do that in your life. You might find emotionally that you are feeling this real need to really be articulate in a sense of real, true, being genuine and honest. That sort of raw emotion, though, that can come from honesty. Sometimes others don't really know what to do with that. So just be aware of that. But it's an important part of our being, and it's obviously something that you may find in your situation that you're expressing yourself in that way. It's about being really compassionate, and so you may find others in your life are in a good place of showing you compassion and care, making everyone feel sort of safe and secure in that sense. You might find that in a situation that you realise that you need to let go of your defences, or that you need to let go of sort of your logical mind and thought and sort of approach the situation more with a sense of sort of that emotional willingness and trust in the process when we're connecting with others. It's sort of heart to heart or spirit to spirit type of energy. So when you think about sort of that Monday and Tuesday, where opportunities arise for you to really connect with others in a really genuine way, and to really value that sense of helping and caring for others and being in a position to receive that from others. If you work in the health field, nurse or a health worker, or if you work with animals, if you're, as I said, a counsellor, someone like that, you'll really find your ability to really show compassion will thrive. And or if you are a recipient of seeing someone in those fields, you'll find a real sense of connection with them and feeling that someone truly cares about your situation. It also can represent maybe some sort of social responsibility. So if you are in a position of that realm, or if you have the opportunity to really demonstrate and express your social responsibility, you'll find that'll come up. I guess the only thing is, at the same time with all of that, as you can probably imagine, just be a little bit aware of the importance of boundaries at the same time. Around not just giving away all of your sense of energy in terms of your emotional compassion, and be really willing to knowing that others have got the same energy around them at the moment, and therefore be receptive to it as well. And keep in mind that you can't change another, so avoid that sort of contract of being reciprocal, sort of giving out love and then not sort of wondering why you're not sort of getting it back at the same level, that it's sort of like free giving. So that's what I see when I think of the King of Cups. So that's how I think of how our Monday, Tuesday energy is going to be. Now as we flow into sort of the middle of the week, sort of Wednesday, Thursday energy, the Two of Wands is going to start to sort of come into the picture in conjunction with sort of the King of Cups energy. So the Two of Wands, it's around, if I look at this imagery here, it's very much around looking at considering my future, or so the person, you or someone else around you is sort of thinking about their future, or a situation, it could be in the workplace, sort of like, where are we going to, what's the future? It's a card that sort of talks about readiness for change, and it's a good time for goal setting. And you may find from this sense of being more connected with your emotions and your sense of empathy and care for yourself and others, that you're now in a place where you can really start to set some goals and envision your future with a greater sense of connectedness to your emotions. This card represents sort of mutual benefit. It can also represent perhaps a completion or an exchange of contracts or something like that, or a declaration or commitment. So you might find on an emotional level that because of the energy that's come about early in the week, that you can now make a commitment to someone or make a commitment to some activity that has real sense of heart and soul and care. And however that might represent for you. It's a great time for you and maybe a business partner or a client or a co-worker to get things done. So if you're working in the health field, you'll find that that your clients will be more receptive to really looking at their stuff and making a contract about change. That within ourselves, that sense of really being connected to our inner being, we are then able to make changes around the things that we deem perhaps aren't serving us. So it's a real sense of this is the action, the fire coming in meeting the water that brings about that synchronicity between the two. And so we may be making an agreement with ourselves around really working on making changes in our life that are no longer serving us. It's a time to sort of be confident that you can fulfill and uphold your end of the bargain. So as you're making these commitments, whether it be to you or to another or another's making them to you, just be aware that what this card is representing is that you are in a position and you are going to uphold your end of the bargain, because there is an expectation that you will. So in terms of your interaction with others, they automatically are going to have that expectation that you're going to uphold what you say you're going to do. Okay, and that's important, because otherwise you're going to find that things may go a little feral. So in terms of that contract and agreement that you have with yourself or another or a situation, just be aware that there is a reliance on that you will be true to your word. And if you're really connected to the energy around the King of Cups, that will come as a breeze. It'll be a natural part of, that harmony and that natural sense of being able to do it will come quite easily to you. Okay, so as we move into the end of the week, we've drawn the Ten of Swords. Now, some of you may be looking at that and going, yikes, the Ten of Swords. And in a way, what a contrasting to the energy of earlier in the week, but I think not really. I mean, first of all, looking at here, we've got a water, we've got a fire, and now we've got swords. Swords being communication, our values, our beliefs. It's around our logical, it's around our mind, it's how our mind works. So here's our heart, here's us doing action, so it's our personal power, and now we've got how we use our mind. And our mind can be a great asset to us, and it can also hold us back. I also, when I look at this card though, I often think, in situations when I get in a reading for myself, great, it tells me that things I don't need anymore are gone away, and therefore that always opens doors to new things. And I also like to pay attention in this card, if I was thinking of this black as being the unconscious, the swords being the mind, I love to look at the fact that, look, the sun is coming up, you know, the clouds are moving away, and there is that light in the horizon, and that's part of the change process. So this is about clarity, and it's about, you know, swords are about a suit of clarity, about the mind. It's about how the mind can trap us into games. So if you think about that and are wary of that, and you know that it's really important to sort of be aware of where your mind's at. You know, you've done this really heartfelt work and you've made some positive changes early in the week. Now just be careful and be aware. Is your mind going to play tricks on you? You know, where is it at? Or is it really accepting that things have moved on and it's time to let stuff go? It can be, it's the conclusion or the end of a situation. It could be the end of a really bad situation, which is great, you know, so things are finally done, complete. No more having to think about it, no more having to talk about it, no more having to do anything about it. Done and dusted, you know, what a great place to be in to start again. So it's the finality. It can also, it could be that, you know, you're having to give up on pushing or pulling or beating the, you know, something to death, you know. And again, it's sort of like, well, there's no point in putting any more energy into it, or the mind, I should say, no point in putting the mind's energy into it, because something has ended. Okay, and that can be, as I said, great service to you. Remember, we're very much talking about, it could be communication. It could be that the way that you've been communicating, maybe you've realized in this that there's a new way to look at a situation. It's about bringing heart and empathy, and that's where you are moving to for this relationship or situation to flourish, and to take the sort of the mental logic and the way we've been communicating out of the equation. Because it'll be pointless to keep doing what you've been doing. It could also be, though, how you've reacted to a problem in the past, that sort of mental anguish that we can sort of get ourselves into when we mentally sort of overwork something. That is, we're sort of being shown that there are times in our lives where we just have to say enough is enough. You can also look at it, though, that a particular situation or a particular way of doing something, because it's done and dusted, you're off the hook. You don't need to look at it anymore or worry about it, or even worry about the outcome. So, you know, there's great freedom in that. So when I see this card, I think, great, it's free, things are done, I'm moving on. So give yourself a break, because it's all done, it's over with. And rest and relax and open your mind to what's next. So I guess that's the thing. When I look at this card, I think, you know, it's that scorpion energy. I think, okay, the transitions come about, the regeneration or rebirth, you know, sort of that phoenix rising or the snake shedding the skin, those sort of analogies. It's come along, and when we're talking about your mind, so the mind, it's like that sort of, I can move on and have a whole new perspective of a particular situation, whatever that might be, and take the good or the positive growth around using my emotional being for actioning things that I want to change in my life. So I hope you've found that useful for the week. I hope you have a really wonderful week, and I look forward to catching up with you when I do my next video. If you want to find me or catch up with me, you can check out my website at www.kirawoods.com. You can also find me on Facebook, and have a great day.